Thank you for watching East County SELPA's new Special Education Director video series. This series is part of a larger project funded by the California Department of Education under the IEP Technical Support and Assistance Grant. These videos supplement the other resources for new special education directors that can be found on our website, highqualityiep's.net. New special education directors come to this position with varied experiences. Some have been within the field of special education for many years, and some are brand new to special education. This video series is targeted to first and second year special education directors to provide perspectives related to special education of various departments within a district. The goal is to cultivate a deeper understanding of the special education director as they lead their department and collaborate with other district departments. For additional questions, special education directors are encouraged to collaborate with other leaders within their district and their special education local plan area director.
Hello, my name is Jenine, and I am currently a Director of Human Resources and formerly a Director of Special Education. I'm here to share with you 5 things that every Director of Special Education needs to know when it comes to human resources. First, know who your staff are and where they are assigned. Special education staffing is very fluid for a variety of reasons, such as changing student needs and the transient nature of employees in some entry-level positions. It is important that special ed directors have a live record of all special education positions in the district, including where the positions are, the position numbers, and the names of the employees in these positions. In addition, it's useful to have the FTE or full-time equivalent and schedule of these employees so that you know what coverage is in place and what the needs are. This information will also assist in maintaining caseload requirements and staffing ratios. With an accurate live record of special education positions, including vacancies, directors can ensure that there are adequate services and support, as well as proactively plan for every changing student needs. Second, have allocation formulas for each staffing group based on predetermined criteria. Monitoring and managing special education staffing is one of the most important roles of the special education director. When allocating staff for special education services and supports, you need to consider a variety of factors. Some certificated positions have specific caseload requirements, such as education specialists and speech-language pathologists. For these providers, directors need to adhere to Ed Code and SELPA staffing allocations. In addition, most school districts have contract language with caseload guidelines that must be followed as long as they do not conflict with the legal limits. Although some caseload requirements are articulated in state and federal law, many certificated and classified special education positions, such as school psychologists, APE teachers, occupational therapists, and paraprofessionals, are not. In these cases, it's recommended that directors refer to professional association and industry recommendations for best practice. It is important that directors stay current on any Ed Code or special education legislation that requires specific staffing ratios. In addition, be knowledgeable of funding calculations through industry resources such as FCMAT, LCFF, and maintenance of effort in order to justify how you arrived at your recommended staffing allocation. In other words, be able to articulate and defend how you determined the recommended staffing allocations based on fiscal and best practice guidelines. Third, once an agreed upon staffing allocation formulas are identified, directors need to apply the formula to each provider group and reevaluate at a minimum each year. In the spring of each school year, directors should work with special education leaders and human resources to project the number of special education staff that will be needed for the following school year. After staffing projections for the following year are identified, directors need to reconcile future needs with current staffing to determine whether a reduction or increase is needed. In the event that a reduction is needed, directors should work with human resources to make staffing changes that are in compliance with Ed Code and contract language. In the event that an increase in staffing is needed, directors should work with their human resources and fiscal department to meet anticipated needs. Once the school year starts, directors of special education need to closely monitor student enrollment, assessments, and caseloads in order to anticipate changes in staffing and to act accordingly. Fourth, stay current on credentialing requirements and changes for education specialists and service providers. Although your Human Resources Department is ultimately responsible for ensuring appropriate credentialing requirements for all staff, they are monitoring all credentials in the district. As the Director of Special Education, be informed of any credentialing changes that are coming and work with your HR department on how to implement these changes. Know the intricacies of credentialing language and work closely with your HR department on how your district will monitor and manage credentialing requirements and the impact on caseloads and compliance. Fifth, and most importantly, meet regularly with your director or assistant superintendent of human resources to collaborate and ensure that they have all the information they need to support staffing. As the Director of Special Education, HR and Fiscal Services is relying on you to recommend appropriate, fiscally responsible staffing allocations. Schedule regular standing meetings with your Human Resources Department to collaborate and educate. The more he or she understands IDEA and the needs of special education students and staff, the more collaborative and effective you can be in ensuring appropriate staffing. When special education directors, in collaboration with their HR and Fiscal Services departments, agree upon staffing allocations, regularly review funding, and discuss best practices, they are able to manage staffing ratios and budget effectively. In the absence of an agreed-upon allocation model, there is a potential for tension between program and student needs and the financial impact on the general fund. During regular meetings, you can monitor special education needs and any challenges that you are facing, as well as collaborate on solutions. Special education is only one of the many priorities for your Human Resources Department. Share your expertise and processes with them in order to support decisions that are in the best interests of students, staff, and the district as a whole. Thank you.